or she may have viewed the possession of these as a means of blocking any legal attempt by her father to claim some of the wealth Jacob had gained while in his service. Compare GE 30. 43. 31. 1, 2, 14-16. These possibilities, of course, depend upon the existence of such a custom among Laban's people and upon the teraphims actually being such household gods. Rachel's gravesite in the territory of Benjamin at Zilzah was still known in Samuel's time, some 6 centuries later. 1-10. 2. The traditional location of the grave lies about 1.5 kilometers 1 mi of Bethlehem. This, however, would place it in the territory of Judah, not Benjamin. Therefore others suggest a location farther in, but any attempt at being precise is useless today. Centuries after Rachel's death, why did the Bible tell of her weeping over her sons in the future? At Jeremiah 31:15 Rachel is depicted as weeping over her sons who have been carried into the land of the enemy, her lamentation being heard in Ramah of Jerusalem in the territory of Benjamin. See Ramah number 1. Since Ephraim, whose tribal descendants are often used collectively to stand for the northern kingdom of Israel, is mentioned several times in the context 31. 6, 9, 18, 20. Some scholars believe this prophecy relates to the exiling of the people of the northern kingdom by the Assyrians. 2 Kai 17. 1-6. 18. 9-11 On the other hand, it might relate to the eventual exiling of both those of Israel and of Judah, the latter by Babylon. In the first case, the figure of Rachel would be very appropriate, since she was the maternal ancestor of Ephraim through Joseph, the most prominent tribe of the northern kingdom. In the second case, Rachel's being the mother not only of Joseph, but also of Benjamin, whose tribe formed part of the southern kingdom of Judah, would make her a fitting symbol of the mothers of all Israel, their bringing forth sons now seeming to have been in vain. Jehovah's comforting promise, however, was that the exiles would certainly return from the land of the enemy. 31:16. This text was quoted by Matthew in connection with the slaughter of infants in Bethlehem at Herod's order. Mount 2. 16-18 Since Rachel's grave was at least relatively near Bethlehem, though apparently not at the traditional site, this figure of Rachel weeping was appropriate. O text to acute miritra longo. Raham 728 The Hebrew words o middle. Now always has to do with an illicit relationship, either sexual or as a figure of spiritual unfaithfulness, and in each instance where it denotes a prostitute, it is so translated. It is not rendered hostess, innkeeper, or the like. Besides, among the Canaanites harlotry was not a business of ill repute. Rahab's 2 guests were recognized as Israelites by others, who reported the matter to the king. However, Rahab quickly hid the men among flax stalks that were drying on the roof so that when the authorities got there to pick the men up she was able to direct them elsewhere without arousing their suspicions. In all of this, Rahab demonstrated greater devotion to the God of Israel than to her own condemned community. Jos 2:7. At what point Rahab had become aware of the spies' purpose there and Israel's intentions concerning Jericho is uncertain. But she now confessed to them the great fear and dread existing in the city, because of reports about Jehovah's saving acts for Israel over the past 40 years or more. She asked the spies to swear to her for the preservation of herself and her whole family. Father, mother, and all the rest. To this they agreed, provided she gather all their family into her house, hang a scarlet cord from the window, and remain silent concerning their visit, all of which she promised to do. Further protecting the spies, she enabled them to escape through a window, the house being on the city wall, and told them how they could avoid the search party that had headed for the Jordan at the fords. Jos 2:8-22. The spies reported back to Joshua all that had happened. Jos 2:23-24 Then when Jericho's wall fell down, Rahab's house, on the side of the wall, was not destroyed. Jos 2:15-6. 22 On Joshua's orders that Rahab's household be spared, the same 2 spies brought her out to safety. After a period of separation from Israel's camp, Rahab and her family were permitted to dwell among the Israelites. Jos 6:17-23-25 This former prostitute then became the wife of Salmon and the mother of Boaz in the royal ancestry of the Davidic kings. She is one of the 4 women named in Matthew's genealogy of Jesus. Ru 4. 20-22. Mount 1. 5, 6. She is also an outstanding example of one who, though not an Israelite, by works proved her complete faith in Jehovah. By faith, Paul tells us, Rahab the harlot did not perish with those who acted disobediently, because she received the spies in a peaceable way. Was not also Rahab the harlot declared righteous by works, after she had received the messengers hospitably and sent them out by another way? Asks James. Heb 11. 30, 31. Just 2. 25. 2. Heb. Rahav, from a root meaning storm with importunities. A symbolic expression first used in Job 9. 13. 26. 12, where it is translated stormer. In the second of these passages, the context and parallel construction connect it with a great sea monster. Similarly, Isaiah 51. 9 links Rahab with the